Hi, I'm Hugh McKenna from Asgard Athletics. This week we're going to be going over something a little different than we normally do. It's going to be a breath holding technique, particularly a CO2 table or a Wonka table. In this technique, you're going to build up a tolerance to CO2 inside your lungs and your muscles, and that's going to allow you to have increased red blood cell count by potentially stimulating erythropoietin or EPO, what all those guys get caught taking when they have insane amounts of cardio, because that will increase your red blood cell count. When your body's starving for oxygen, you have high CO2 levels in your blood, this stimulates erythropoietin to be released and allows you to build more red blood cells to counteract that lack of oxygen and increase in CO2 levels. It's going to increase your hemoglobin's affinity for oxygen and the efficiency with which it binds to hemoglobin and comes off hemoglobin into your musculature. It's also going to improve your capillary density in your body. When you go into like slightly hypoxic events, your body responds by making more capillaries so that oxygen can be transferred a little more quickly into your muscles. It's also going to increase your mitochondrial efficiency. It's going to allow you to use that mitochondria to make oxygen a little more efficiently, because you're going to have these like substrates and different enzymes that allow oxygen to be used when there's less oxygen present and higher levels of CO2. So, and it's also going to stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis. So it's going to stimulate your body to make more of these mitochondria. That way you can utilize the little oxygen that you have during these hypoxic events and continue to do like aerobic energy production in the mitochondria. So it has a ton of different benefits. It was developed by free divers who dive down and have to hold their breath because they're under the water. But we as athletes on the land can still get some benefits from this by doing the breath holds. I don't recommend doing the breath holds underwater. I feel like that's an unnecessary danger. You might pass out and then potentially drown. So I do them on the land. You can plug your nose if you want to, if you feel like you're cheating a little bit and breathing in. But I personally don't find that necessary. But if you feel like you're not actually holding your breath and you're still breathing very slightly, just plug your nose a little bit. So how these are going to work is you find yourself in a seated position. You don't want to do them standing in case you do fall or anything like that. And you don't want to overexert yourself when you do this, okay? It should be the minimum effort required to raise your CO2 level. You don't want to be passing out and smacking your head in the ground. You don't want to be passing out at all. So how this works is you're going to find yourself a nice seated, comfortable position, preferably somewhere soft. You're going to take one breath in your nose, full breath. You need full lungs when you do this. So slowly inhale until your lungs are full. Then you're going to hold your breath, and you're going to hold your breath until you feel a contraction in your diaphragm. It's unmistakable. It kind of feels like right before you're about to throw up, that pulling in of your stomach area, but it's really just your diaphragm trying to pull down so it forces you to breathe. The second you feel that first contraction, you're going to hold your breath for 45 more seconds. So this is when your timer counts, right? Your breath hold can be as long as it has to be to get that first contraction. So your first breath hold might be 2 minutes. Your second breath hold might be 1.5 minutes. And then by the time you get to like your 6th and 7th, 8th breath hold, they might be only 10 seconds. Because as your CO2 builds up in your body, you're going to be able to hold your breath for less and less time. So that first initial breath hold will probably be your longest breath hold. But you don't start the actual timer that counts until you feel that first contraction in your diaphragm. And then you have to hold it for 45 seconds after that first contraction. Then, once that 45 seconds is up, you exhale slowly. Then you inhale one breath and you go right back into your hold. Okay? So after the first contraction, 45 seconds go by, you exhale slowly, one breath back in, and then complete your next hold. When you first start this, I recommend doing like 5 or 6 breath holds. But as you get more acclimated to this kind of training and your body gets more acclimated to the high levels of CO2 in your blood, I would go up to at least 8 breath holds. You're gonna find that your last breath holds are only 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds if you're mentally tough and focused. A couple recommendations I have when you do this is I would go to the bathroom before you do this. This always makes me have to pee. I don't know why. A lot of people have that experience too. And the last thing you want to do is sit down, be in the middle of your like third or fourth breath hold, and then have to pee, and potentially have to restart your entire exercise, your entire Wonka table. That's not fun. Again, find a nice seated, comfortable position where it would be safe if you do happen to actually pass out. But again, please don't push yourself to the point where you're passing out. That is not the point of this. Don't be a hero. Just go to the first contraction and then hold for 45 seconds. If you start feeling lightheaded and like you're going to pass out, breathe. Okay, it's not worth it. I would do the CO2 table once or twice a week. It's actually pretty intense, and when I find myself doing it, I actually end up sweating profusely because it's very hard on your body, and your nervous system freaks out a little bit because of the hypoxia that you're experiencing. I would recommend after the breath holds are done, just slowly breathing in and out of your nose, and just really like meditate and have some mindful practice on that breath. I would do at least like 2 to 3 minutes of just normal breathing so that you can exhale all that CO2 that you've been building up in your body and replenish your body's O2 stores before you go to get up. Okay, you don't want to stand up too quickly because you might be a little lightheaded and woozy and you don't want to fall down. So that's how you do a CO2 table or a Wonka table. Let me know how this practice goes, or if you have any questions. If you haven't already, can you please like this video and subscribe to my channel? That way you don't miss the weekly videos coming out. Maybe even set an alert so that you can get alerted every time I post a new video.